Okay, I wanna okay, I wanna talk about the 9 to 5 system and just my insights on it. You know, long story short, and this is coming from someone who's worked in 4 jobs. So 2 jobs last year, and another 2 jobs the year before. If you're wanting the 2 jobs, I worked in 2 gyms, and I did 2 sales jobs. Long story short, and my opinion remains firm, and it's been like this for the past 5 years and pretty much all my life. I don't like 9 to 5s. Fuck no. I don't like 9 to 5 jobs. Now, I know the one thing about me, and I just work really hard. Regardless of what industry it is, I just work really hard. I just have something in me. Now, when I was working my 9 to 5 jobs, I was thinking to myself, well, I don't want to be here. And me not wanting to be here is it's quite plausible, and I believe a lot of you can relate. Spending a third of your day, in an area you don't like, it sucks. And I can empathize because I've been there. It sucks. I've been through the stress and the trials and tribulations. Now there's part of me that wants to just talk about it all, like all 4 of my different jobs in a different video, but nah, that's the wrong one. I don't want to think back cool than me. Not even say years, like it was like 5 years ago, but it was a long time, right? So I'm just gonna talk about it all in one. Let's find an area to sit also. I'm gonna find an area to sit. I don't know what can do this. It's pretty cold. I actually got gloves this time, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm gonna sit down and speak my thoughts on working at 9 to 5. Well, what I noticed, guys, you guys won't notice, but to the ones who are younger, you have age like groups, classes, year groups. Yeah, that's it. You have year groups, and different students in different year groups are separated, depending on the class. No, I didn't phrase that right. Essentially, you got year groups. Split the year, schools in the place. You have year groups, and then you have classes in them year groups, etc., etc. And it's like when you're in school, you feel like there's this like age gap, a sense of superiority, just for having a difference of in terms of age and who was born first. That was the tunnel I was talking about in one of my videos where I said I saw the fox. I don't need to worry about them coming to me. They won't touch me. Trust me, they will not touch me. I'm a big guy. I'm 5'9" and 83 kilos. That may not sound tall, but the 83 kilo part, trust me, for 5'9", that's really big. Yeah, no fox is gonna eat me. No fox in the right mind. If they do, I'll snap their neck. Actually, I won't. I have the ability to do so. Basically, long story short, I have the ability to fuck them up. So, hey, if they wanna try me, come for it. But yeah, let me talk about more about my experience working on 9 to 5. I didn't like it at all. I don't like it. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, oh yeah, that's where I was in regards to the whole class system and whatnot. Hold on. Fuck's. Alright, let me start again. Alright. In terms of the whole class system and whatnot, when you're in secondary school, it feels like there's like a massive age year gap. When you get to when you turn 18 and you leave college, so when you leave the education system, bro, you'll start to realize that everyone's pretty much the same age. Everyone in the sense that we all live the same lives, unfortunately. And that's what it's like for the majority of the population. It's really sad, but that's the truth. Let me elaborate. You wake up, some of you 7, some of you 8, some of you killers out there who actually give a damn about yourselves and want to live a certain lifestyle. Not saying you need to live lavish or materialistic, but just a life of freedom to live by through your own choices. on your own choices. You'll wake up at 5, 6, etc. But either way, the majority of people, fortunately, and have experienced this, gotta wake up, you gotta go to work, done at 5 o'clock. Some jobs even take the piss and make you be done at like 5:30, 6. Fuck, man. My third job made me done at 6. My fourth job I was done at 8. Fuck, what the fuck's with that, man? I know I'm going all over the place with this video, but I say this to say it's just a sad life. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. I felt so depressed. Now don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but I enjoyed my first, second and third job that I worked at. In the sense of I had the mindset of, let me just work hard, man. It's a shit job, let me work like I'm getting paid. And so I did that. Well, my first job was pretty small. The gym was really small, so there wasn't much to do. And I'll be honest with you guys, let me give you a little context also. My first 2 jobs, they weren't actual jobs because it was work experience, for those who don't know. In England, you have this thing, unfortunately, where you have to work a certain amount of hours to an area depending on the course that you're studying. So me, I studied sports and exercise science, right? So I had to work in a sports related context. So I chose to work in the gym. The first gym I went to, it was really empty. Not empty, but it was really small. There wasn't much to do. And I hated it. In the sense of, the majority of the time, it was just us sitting down, having nothing to do, waiting for the bus. He was a nice chap, shout out to you. He was a nice guy, giving us instructions. The majority of the time, we're just cleaning the gym. Then you get the occasional, someone's in the gym, tore them down. There wasn't much to do. Though I could train, I was lifting weights, and they had boxing bags, so that was pretty cool. But hey, it's like you're there for 8 hours. You're not gonna, do that for 8 hours. It's not like we were allowed to anyway. Because then you'd be in a flow state. You're really getting into it, and it's like, oh shit, I forgot I'm actually working now. I can't really box, yeah. The same thing was pretty much the case in my second job that I worked at. So for my first job, it was called Energy Fitness. My second the second job I worked at was called Better Gym. Pretty cool gym again. But again, it was very similar to my last job in the sense that majority of the time I was just sitting down waiting for an order. And the majority of the time I was cleaning. And now I'm a very humble person. And when I was cleaning in my 2 jobs, I cleaned like I was an expert. Honestly, I just work really hard in whatever I do. And it's good to know that about myself. So I was just cleaning. I was cleaning like my life depended on it, man. I was cleaning like I was getting paid. And I briefly said earlier, you have to work a certain amount of hours. So for us, that was 70 hours total. We had to work 70 hours total. Or they would threaten to kick us out of the course, which is really fucked if you really think about it. So they basically made it mandatory for us to work. I worked hard, I enjoyed it. But like I said, the majority of the time I was just sitting down also. During my second job, this was about 2 years ago, come November. So this happened in October 2023. To about November. So I saw this guy, he was working there. At the time I was talking to him during that period, he was working there for about 17 years. I was 17 years old at the time. Now that's the crazy part, he's been working there since I was born. That same job where he was running around the track field. It was a pretty big gym, right? So it was a track field. He was just picking stuff up and whatnot. Essentially telling me, bro, you do not want to be doing this job. And I knew that already at the back of my head, but he also told me it's work experience for a reason. He told me you're 17 years old, you're young. Just see this as experience, but don't see this as something you want to do in the future, because it's not a fun life, and I agree. Now, what I said just now, it's not me saying the exact word he said. It's essentially me paraphrasing it. But what he said went something along the lines of that, and I agree. Even the workers there, they didn't like the job. They said it's a pretty boring job, but they pay really well. It's like, just sit down, walk around the gym. There's not really much to do. Now, yeah, that gym I went to was a lot bigger. I spoke to a lot of gym lads over there, trained. They had pull-up bars. I actually made a few videos in the past, late 2023. If you can go back, it's from October to November 2023. I was actually in the gym, punching boxing bags, doing pull-ups. Videos are there on the channel. I digress. I did not like it. Shit wasn't for me, man. Bearing in mind it was work experience also, so you don't get paid doing it. So I had to work a total of 70 hours in that job, so I think it took me about 2-3 weeks. It fucking sucked, man. Sucked. Do you remember I spent the half time working in that shit. I hated it so much, man. Depressing. Now, my third job, I worked in a sales job. Now, there's actually two types of sales jobs. Well, I think there's more, like, you know, you got those shop jobs where they're just selling in the houses with it. They're like NPCs. You're like a shop clerk. You just stand in front of the store. They come in, you try to talk to them. I didn't do that type of job. So I did two other types of sales jobs. I did event sales and I did door-to-door sales, where you eventually knock on doors. Now, event sales, it was a big fear because you're essentially out in the wider public. And I was constantly stressing what people would think about me. I used the law of attraction. Even though I was scared, I just kept saying to myself, I'm going to fucking conquer. I'm going to fucking conquer. I'm going to approach this person. The moment I got into the field, I'm not going to get into too much detail because I kind of spoke about this on my code approaching curing my fear of women video, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I guess you could say I enjoyed that job. I did enjoy the job also. In the sense of it was vibrant and I had the opportunity to, you know, code approach and just kill the fear that I always had about myself. And I say the funnest part was talking to a lot of women. I flirted with a lot of women in that job. A lot of hot women as well, so that was fun. I enjoyed it. Me and my team, and at the time, we really enjoyed the job. We was laughing. And I like to have this mentality of when you're pursuing an industry, don't focus on the money. I'm a big proponent of that. You know, and then what you want, it will eventually come. Like me with this YouTube thing, I'm not focused on the money. I'm just focused on, literally, like I always say, I'm just an 18-year-old man documenting his life on camera. And that's it, man. And it just so happens I have a good audience that, now, I don't have 100 or 1,000 subscribers, but I consider them somewhat loyal, and I speak to them quite frequently in the comments. So I think that's what matters. You have a quality amount of, when I say quality amount of viewers, I'm not referring to the quantity in terms of like how big your subscriber count is, but rather just your relationship with them and how often they engage. Okay, where was I? But yeah, long story short, as much as I enjoyed that sales job, I knew it's not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, man. It wasn't. They had this thing about rising up to leadership and whatnot. And I believe I had the qualities of becoming a leader. And everyone else in my sales job believed it also. They loved me, long story short. They loved my personality. And I don't blame them, because I believe I'm a great guy. And I don't mean that in an egotistical, arrogant way. I genuinely think I'm a great person. I'm not perfect, I make mistakes. But from what I've seen, from what I know about myself and from what I've seen, you know, as an attraction to the energy around us via people, a lot of people seem to like my personality also, so that's always a good thing, being a likable person. Shout out to Dale Carnegie for that. Rest in peace. The author of How to Influence and Influence People. Where was I? But I don't want to live that life, man. I had no ambition of rising up to leadership. And I'm all for being a leader, man. All for being a leader. Especially in the online sense. Even with YouTube, me speaking to you right now, I consider myself a leader. And it would be nice to become an online coach in the future and just help people along the way through my experiences further down the line and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, I'm all for being a leader. Not on a 9-to-5 sense, man. I have no interest in rising up the corporate ladder. I'm sorry. It's not for me, man. I remember deep down, though I did enjoy those 3 jobs I worked at, I remember deep down I was just so upset. Like, this isn't the job I want to work. It sucked because I didn't even have time to train for a long period of time anymore. Don't get me wrong, I still trained. I did my calisthenics workout in the morning. But even then, that was only like 10 minutes at best. And I made it intense and it was fruitful, but bro, I love working out. And it flipping sucks because like on my job, we have to constantly go to this area, this area, this area, this area. So it's like you're spending money as well. Now at the time I was working at my 9 to 5 job, they said they wouldn't pay me until 3 weeks. So I was just spending. And I didn't make that many sales at that job. Though I did enjoy it. Like I said, I wasn't really thinking about the money. I'd like to have this entrepreneurship mindset in I can't speak. In the sense that don't think about the money, just think about growing your skill. And that's exactly what I did. I was just focused on cold approaching people, boosting my social skills. I honestly didn't care about the money. I didn't give a shit. But at the same time, it's like like most people and myself also, it's like you have to remember why you went to that 9 to 5 job. I don't care about the company. I don't care. I just came for the money and I want to go home. And working at 9 to 5 job, they had this like event night thing every Thursday, where essentially go bowling, you have dinner. So when I was doing my third my third job, which was a sales job, had a long day. Imagine you start at 9 a.m. Okay, you finish at 6 p.m. Sorry, I thought I was saying something. You finish at 6 p.m. Rush hour now. You've been walking, you've been cold approaching. Your the talons on your feet. So like, that area, it hurts because you've been walking all day. Speaking all day. So you've got migraine, your head fucking hurts. And now they're telling me I have to go to this event night thingy? No. Thing is, I was actually willing to go just to try it out at first. But then, an hour passed. Because in my sales job, they have this like leader thing. They have this like, it's like a hierarchy system. So you basically have a team and then you have the leader at the top. He breaks down your day once the day is done. He breaks down your day. Bro, I shit you not, they were breaking down other people's days for like 30 minutes. Collectively, that's a very long time, like over 30 minutes. I know 6, I had my day broken down. It probably took like 50 minutes or so. Then there was 2 other people on my team, they had their day broken down also. And it's like, an hour's already passed. Why are you not at the area? So they wanted to do bowling for this event, like to network. That's the word they use. I flipping hate that word, honestly. Yeah, they wanted to do this like network thing, honestly. Like, looking back to that, I couldn't give a shit. Really and truly. I just work at 9 to 5. And it's just like me reminding the core reason as to why myself and even we get a job. We just want to get the money and get out of here. Try do something with the money to position ourselves in a position where we don't have to work anymore, So yeah, an hour passed. They still didn't go to this event night thing. I'm thinking, okay. My bedtime's at 10:30. Was and still is. So that's in 3 hours. And this so-called watch night party didn't start yet. So I'm going home. I went home. Because I'm not waiting that long. I had to bath the day after. So it's like, it just didn't make sense. It's not like they were paying me for it. Door to door. I fucking hated that job. I hated it, man. I'm sorry. I hated that job so much. First day was really good. Then I was doing it. It's like, oh my god, this is fucking boring, man. Honestly, it was so dead, in my opinion. I didn't like it. And the amount of money I burnt through, my own personal money, because they still didn't pay me. I didn't even get paid during that. So collectively, it was a 3-week period with both my third sales job and my 4th sales job. The reason why I say 3rd job and 4th job is because it was originally event sales. Event sales is basically you put a podium, you put like a stand and you just cold approach people. Then the manager, he decided to change it to door when you basically knock on doors. So I spent a lot of money to go to point A to point B, long story short. And you know, at age 18, you don't have money like that, naturally, for most of us guys. I didn't even have that much money in the bank as well. I had like £102. So obviously, you know, mum had to help out. Shout out to mum. She gave me about £20. I had to top up with my Oyster card to get to point A to point B. And that was meant to last me a week, or so I thought. Sad thing was, during the day, we took the train. The money my mum gave me, those £20 that was meant to last me a week, it was all spent in a day on flipping travel for work. Can't make this shit up, man. And to top it off, it was even third week yet, where they promised to pay me 300 for the first week, and then it was only meant to go into commission after the third week. So they guaranteed us it would be £300. I remember properly, vividly. They told us in October they were going to pay us all £300, whether you got sales or not. Long story short, pushed forward to the end when I decided to quit the job. I was like, hey, I spoke to the leader of my team. Why didn't I get my £300? Then they said, oh, apparently you had to get a certain amount of sales to get the £300, which is not what I heard from the manager. To top it off, like I said, I didn't make that many sales on my third sales job, but I still made sales nevertheless. And so I texted my manager, Ed, in regards of the money I was meant to get back from the sales that I did make. And it just got me, it just had me, how long do we have to film? It just had me feeling like, what was those 3 weeks that I spent doing? What was that really for then? Don't get me wrong, it killed my fear of speaking to women. It taught me that I'm actually a funny person. I always knew I was, just I needed the confidence. Yeah, I can speak to women, I can sell. Like I said, I didn't make that many sales, but the mere fact that I did sell 4 times is something that I applaud myself for. But it's like, what were those 3 weeks for? I didn't even get paid for that job during the 3-week period, man. During a tough winter. I remember knocking on doors. I had a blocked nose and everything. I went home, I was eating chicken, bro. I couldn't even taste the food because of the cold I had. And I get it, it's commission only. But at the same time, it's like, during the period where I was working my third job, I didn't even get paid for that. Despite the constant, you know, texting and, you know, messaging and calling, I didn't even get paid for that. So my manager's a scumbag, he really is, because he knew he was in debt to me to pay me a certain amount, which he didn't do. And it also pisses me off as well, because I really gave it my all in that job, in the sense of time and energy. And that job, they got my best attitude, man. I gave it my all in terms of like indifference, not getting frustrated when things don't go your way. Because jobs like that, when you're doing event sales jobs and you're constantly cold approaching people and you get aired, it's very easy to get angry. I never got angry. I didn't get angry, even show it. And life couldn't go left. Me not getting paid was an example of that. You know, it was a very clear example. And life can also go left in the sense of that. So the last day of my event sales period, I was selling to this one guy. I pitched everything really good. They give you like this pitch of what to say to people when you get them to the table. Everything was perfect. Perfect. Honestly, the pitch I said was flawless. Last minute, he decided he didn't want the product. What else can I do? I said everything. I said the whole, oh, yeah, you're not going to be able to get an amazing discount, da 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 da. Said it. Left. Bro, the pain I felt, bro, it hurt. Because I did everything perfectly. But at the same time, it's like, what can you do? You can never force someone to do something they don't want to do, right? My colleagues at the time, they knew I was in pain. Obviously, I didn't show it, but they knew I was in pain because I pitched it so good. the way the conversation was going, you would have thought that he would have bought the product. He didn't buy the product, man. I didn't get the sale. But I wouldn't have got the sale either way from what we know in the future, because the manager was a bitch and he didn't pay me. Fucking scumbag. You really are. You're a prick. I know you probably won't see this video, but in case you do, you're a fucking prick. Fuck you. You don't pay me. Prick. Sorry about that. Either way, it pissed me off. So that's 4 jobs I worked at where I didn't get paid. Which is funny because my 3rd job was actually my real job. To which, I didn't make much sales, and it was right for me to leave because I even make like a month's wage of like an average 9 to 5 job. Either way, I still made a few sales, so I should have been paid for the sales that I made. Just didn't get it. I just thought to myself, let me just move on, find another job, because like I said, I didn't make much sales at my job. So the money I made, it was less than what a person at a normal 9 to 5 would make. So I was like, let me not stress too much about it. Let me just move on with the next chapter of my life. And so I quit. And I make this video to say, I find it bizarre how, hold on, let's see how long I have. Yeah, I just find it crazy how you can be a certain age and be at a completely different world. Not literally, of course, but in the sense of like lifestyle, in comparison to someone who's the same age as you. Like, we're in high school, we're all similar, right? We're all very similar. We all go to school. And then the same thing can apply when you're, outside of school. Everyone just works a 9 to 5 job. But honestly, it's not until I hit 18, which is the age I am right now, and it's like, everyone's pretty much the same. Like, even the majority of the people in my sales job, they were a lot older than me. I was still related to them because we're all just living the same lives. Just working a job, that same boring life of like, you work a job, you go home. Work a job, go home, weekend. It's just dead, It's just boring. It sucks, like. It's not the one, man. What really opened my eyes as well, I met Anison Gibb. I believe he's friends with KSI. I met him on my sales job. I was like, wow. At the time I was training for a fight, so I actually saw the guy 2 times. The first time I actually stopped him and I took a picture of him. The second time, it was also during my 3rd sales job. The rush hour, and I just saw him go to, I think it was St. Pancras in London. It was like those big train stations where it takes you through to another city. I was training for a fight against Slim at the time, and it just crazed me. It made me, I found it crazy because it's like, wow. My team leader, so Gibbs, I think Gibbs was about 28 at the time. He still is 28 years old. My team leader, and this isn't to shade him or anything, but he was also the same age as Gibb. Now Gibb is financially free. He's got the financial freedom, the location freedom, the time freedom to do whatever he wants. Obviously, he was training for a fight, but he has the ability to live the way he pleases. Well, in contrast, obviously, my leader, who was working with us, doesn't, because if you did, why would you need to work a 9 to 5 job? You know what I mean? This is even me throwing shade. It's just me speaking my truth. I saw this other 31-year-old guy working in that job, doing the same flipping sales job, thinking, like, I respect it, I was good at his job, but it's like, bro, for me at 31, I don't want to be doing that shit. I don't want to be working at 9 to 5 at 31. Because I watch YouTubers who are 31 and they're in like a massive position, man, doing cool shit, like financially free, the ability to do whatever they want, live on their terms. And that's the life that really resonates with me, man. This 9 to 5 stuff ain't for me. It's not for everyone, man, and I know it's not for me. Yeah, I work hard. I know I work hard. I worked hard on all 4 of my jobs. I even get paid. So I still worked hard. But that job's not for me. So what I realised, and I think I'm going to end it here, I know I'm so bad at structuring videos. I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, guys. I need to get back at my YouTubing. But taking that all into account and with the 4 jobs that I did work at, I want to shout out First Man also. He spoke about the Great Male Filter. I'm going to make another video about that in the future. But essentially, when you get to a certain age, you really see a divide in terms of like your position in society as a whole, in terms of who's working hard and who's not. And he said it usually begins at 25 years old, depending on the route you're taking. And I just find it crazy because there are like people in their late 20s, early 30s working that shit job. It's not a shit job, but it's like, for me, it's a shit. Obviously, yeah, I learned a lot of skills in terms of social skills and whatnot, to which I don't regret working at, despite not getting paid. But at the same time, it's like there's people their age and they're doing all sorts of cool stuff, man. Celebrities and whatnot. And I'm not saying become a celebrity. Like I told you, I don't want to be famous. I told you a few months back. But it's just the idea, they have the freedom to do whatever they want because they worked in the right industry that's suitable for them. And they managed to do that. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to work in a flipping office. I don't know. My leader in sales, he told me I had a lot of potential, and a lot of people in my sales have told me that I also have a lot of potential. I believe and I knew I had a lot of potential. Funny thing was, if I did rise up, I wouldn't have felt fulfilled in that job. So I am happy I left. I did not want to be a leader in that job because it gives you all sorts of responsibilities that I just didn't care about, in the sense of, if I had become a leader in that job, I would have to come for stupid 9 to 5 meetings, post the work time to like 6, 8 p.m. Which I don't care, because I don't care. It's like you're bending your back for a 9 to 5 job, in my opinion. Just bending your back over. They don't give a fuck about you, and that's something I realized once I quit my job. They don't care about you. They'll make it seem like they care about you, and this goes for any job. No, they shouldn't care about you, but they'll make it seem like it. It's not until I quit the job, I just got that realization they don't care. You're just a tool for them. You're a tool. That's how I think most jobs view you. I definitely had that, that thought in working sales as well. Because, bro, they will replace you, man. They're calling every day. They're calling every day. So they just see you as a piece of clothing. They're going to use it for it. All right, let's suck some, let's use your best. Let's take your time and your energy away. Let's take advantage of the sales that you made. Let's not pay you. Let's be greedy and take the sales that you made with your own effort and energy and your hard work, and let's just use it to my for my selfish needs. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. And I'm only speaking from experience. It may be different for you guys, but I'm speaking my truth. So if I offend if I offend anyone, I don't give a fuck. You can unsubscribe. I don't care. I don't care if I offend you. I don't give a fuck what no one thinks about me. If you don't like my opinion, you can fuck off. I don't give a fuck. So I'm getting a bit vulgar with you guys, but it has to be done sometimes. Got to be honest. I don't lie, man. Bye bye. But yeah, 9 to 5s are not for me, man. Someone who worked on 4 jobs, worked really hard on those 4 jobs, 4 unpaid jobs at that. This 9 to 5 stuff, nah, man, life's not for me. Nah, I ain't living like that, man. I know it's possible. There's young people our age, because they worked at the right boat and they rode as far as they could. I feel like I was just riding in the boat. I was riding, and I do think 9 to 5s are good in terms of just getting the money and investing that money in your free time, and you have the time that you can to eventually turn your side hustle into a main job, to which you can go full time on. But I don't want to, if I were to become a leader in a 9 to 5 sense, yeah, people would big you up. I want to feel fulfilled, because yeah, you're making a lot of money, but what's the point? If you don't even have the freedom, you make a lot of money, but you still have to be in that same silly place, and you don't have the time, This video's all over the place, but if you didn't get anything I said, just know my 9 to 5 job ain't for me, man. I'm all for the digital nomad life, and I'm going to keep pushing. I know it's possible. There's people my age who are making 10k a month. There's people, man. Like I said, I've seen people. I saw a celebrity in my sales job, financially free. I watch people who I look up to who are financially free. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I don't want to work in a job. So a 9 to 5 job, man. I'm tired of that shit. No, I may have to just to get the money up, but for the rest of my life, no, man. I'm not working like that. I'm gonna live my dream. If that resonates with you, I'm with you, man. 9 to 5 shit ain't for me. The digital nomad life, I think it really is as good as people say it is. It really is, because most people, we don't live, man. There is more to life than work. And trust me, working a 9 to 5, that is not working. It's no wonder everyone's depressed. That's what it's like for our parents, unfortunately. It's sad. But this 9 to 5 stuff ain't for me. I'm gonna stop rambling on now. Peace out.